Hi there, this is Thomas Eugene Schussler III, the Expert Mode Gamer, and today I'm going to be opening up a collector booster box of Magic the Gathering: The Wilds of Eldraine. So we'll get this thing popped open. I've already done the pre-release event, so I know a little bit about what's going to be in here. If you're new to the channel, I don't look up what's going to be in the boxes and everything. I kind of like to be surprised, so... But I know a little bit of what's going to be in here because I did the pre-release event already. So, what we got in here? We got a food token, Regal Bunnycorn. What the fuck are you, guy? I don't like this shadow I got going on right here, dude. Let's see if I can get rid of this shadow a little bit. Son of a bitch. Well, that's kind of sad. After this pack, I'll see if I can move things around. I'll pause it and see if I can move things around to get rid of that shadow. So we got this little bunny corn here. It's a star rabbit unicorn for 1 in a plains. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of non-land permanents you control. Ooh, you're fucking cool. Damn, dude. Well, that was a cool one. I liked you. Intruder Alarm. We've got, it's an enchantment for 2 in an island, and creatures don't untap during the controller's untap steps. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, untap all creatures. Well, untap all creatures? You're kind of a funky one. Interesting. Virtue of Loyalty. It's an enchantment for 3 and 2 planes. It's got a adventure fealty. Oh my god. That's an instant arcane for 1 in a planes. Create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance, and then the actual spell is at the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Untap those creatures. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, and then you untap them? Oh, damn, dude. Holy shit, dude. I'm drawing some bitchin' shit, dude. Blightwing Bandit. It's a 2/2 fairy rogue for 3 in a swamp. It's got flying and death touch. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. Damn, dude. I'm drawing good shit, dude. Ratisserie Elemental. Sure, we'll go with that. It's an elemental for... It's a 1/1 elemental for a mountain menace. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a skewer counter on it. Then you may sacrifice it. If you do, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of skewer counters on this card. You may play those cards this turn. Well, you're not so impressive. You'd go good in my brother's exile deck. You'd fit right in with that, dude. Dragon Mantle. You look fucking tight, dude. This thing looks cool shit. It's an enchantment aura for 1 mountain. Enchant creature, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. And enchanted creature has a mountain. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. You're fucking tight, dude. Just for the artwork, dude. The artwork alone is fucking awesome, dude. That was cool. Spreading Seas. It's an enchantment aura for 1 in an island. It enchants a land, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and enchanted land is an island. So you can turn someone's Gaia's Cradle into a fucking island? Oh, that'd suck ass, dude. Not very often you come across a Gaia's Cradle, though. So. And we got islands. Speaking of islands, we got Glass Casket. I think this is a reprint, isn't it? It's an artifact for 1 in the plains. And when it enters, exile target creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or less until Glass Casket leaves the battlefield. I think that's a reprint. Fairy Fencing. It's an instant for X in a swamp. And target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. That creature gets an additional -3/-3 until end of turn if you controlled a fairy as you cast this spell. So if you control a fairy, you can make everything get you can make a creature get -3/-3 for 1 swamp. Okay. Oh, hey, I got this in my my little pre-release kit. Sir Armont the Redeemer. It's a 4/4 commander human knight for 3 a forest and a plains, and when it enters the battlefield, create a monster roll token attached to another target creature you control. And then the monster roll is that the creature gets +1/+1 and has trample, and enchanted creatures you control get +1/+1. Sugar Rush. It's an instant for 1 in a swamp. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Draw a card. Aquatic Alchemist. And it's got a adventure sorcery called Bubble Up for 2 and an island. Put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. And then the actual Aquatic Alchemist is a 1/3 elemental for 1 and an island. Scream Puff. I had you. I got you in my little fucking release kit. It's a 4/5 horror for 4 in a swamp. It's got Death Touch, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you create a food token. Unruly Catapult. This one's cool. It's a artifact 0/4 artifact construct for 2 in a mountain. It's got Defender, tap it, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you untap it. Yeah, this one's pretty cool. I like this one. Okay, I'm going to pause it, see if I can get this shadow to disappear, and maybe rearrange some stuff real quick. There we go. I think that's better. I pulled my table back a little bit and readjusted the camera just a bit, so it looks like we got a little bit better visual quality now. So, and we got us another food token. We got us another little elemental guy here. Land Tax. Oh, holy shit. This is a good one, dude. It's an enchantment for 1 plains. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you, you may search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. This one is fucking tight, dude. I got the bitchin' artwork version of it and everything, dude. Hell yeah, dude, that was fucking tight. Dude, we're getting good pulls, dude. I'm impressed so far. Gumdrop Poisoner? What the hell? This chick looks funky as hell, dude. It's got an adventure that's an instant. Tempt with treats. For 1 swamp, create a food token. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. And then the actual creature is a 3/2 human warlock for 2 in a swamp. It's got lifelink, and when it enters the battlefield, up to 1 target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. Ooh, shit. That's pretty neat. Elvery of the Wild Court. Aren't you the commander? Yeah, this is the commander from the Commander game, man. It's a 4/4 commander human knight for 2 a forest and a plains. And when it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a virtuous roll token attached to another target creature you control. And then whenever an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Yeah, this is the freaking commander, man. From the commander deck. We've got Fawn's Bane Troll. It's a 4/4 troll, shock, for 2 a swamp and a forest, and when it enters the battlefield, create a monster roll token attached to it. 1 mana, sacrifice an aura attached to Fawn's Bane Troll. It fights target creature you don't control. If that creature would die this turn, exiled instead. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. We got another Spreading Seas. This one's all shiny. Stab Wound. They're going to stab me, man. That's not cool. It's an enchantment aura for 2 in a swamp. It's got enchant creature, and the enchanted creature gets -2/-2. And at the beginning of enchanted creature, at the beginning of the upkeep of enchanted creature's controller, that player loses 2 life. We got a mountain. Redtooth Vanguard. I got this in the pre-release kit. It's a 3/1 elf warrior for 1 in a forest. It's got trample, and whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under control, you may pay 2. If you do, return it from your graveyard to your hand. And I never say no to my elves, if you're familiar with the channel. You know I like me my elves, man. We got Ice Rot Sentry. It's a 2/3 elemental soldier for 2 in an island. It's got vigilance, and whenever it attacks, you may pay 1 in an island. When you do, tap target creature an opponent controls. Whenever you tap an untapped creature an opponent controls, this gets +2/+1 until end of turn. So it's going to be a 4/4. Well, you look cool, dude. I like that sword he's carrying. That's pretty tight. Lord Skitter's Butcher. What? It's a 2/3 rat peasant for 2 in a swamp. And when it enters the battlefield, you choose one. Create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. You may sacrifice another creature. If you do, scry 2, then draw a card. Or creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. Not sure if I'd want to put you in my rat deck or not. I don't think there's room for you. You're not quite spiffy enough to take something out, man. Ginger Brew. I love this card, dude. It's just a little 1/1 artifact food golem for 1. But it's got haste, and then for 1, Ginger Brew can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. And then 2, tap it, sacrifice it, you gain 3 life. I love me this little 1/1 haster, dude. He came in handy in the pre-release game I played. Hopeless Nightmare. It's an enchantment for 1 swamp. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. And when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, scry 2. And for 2 in a swamp, you can sack it. Toonvale Guide. It's a 2/3 fairy scout for 3 in a plains. It's got flying and celebration. Toonvale Guide gets +1/+0 and has lifelink as long as 2 or more non-land permanents entered the battlefield under your control this turn. Freeze in Place. Isn't this the one that gives them 3 stun counters? Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. This thing's fucked up. It's a sorcery for 1 in an island. Tap target creature an opponent controls and put 3 stun counters on it. Scry 2. God damn, dude. 3 stun counters. That is fucked up. There we go. It's giving me issues, man. Don't be giving me issues. Doing my bestest here. Are they all going to have a food token? Oh, what the hell? There's something on the other side. It's a human. Ah! Got us a little rat that can't block and a little elemental dude over here, too. Okay, there we go. So, like, every side's got a food token on one side and other stuff. Leyline? I know my brother got, like, the island Leyline. Apparently, I got the swamp one. Leyline of the Void. It's an enchantment for 2 and 2 swamps. And if it's in your opening hand, you can put it on the battlefield and start the game with it. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. That is fucking tight, dude. Dude, this fucking box has been bitching, dude. Another one of these? I got one of these in my my pre-release kit. This is one of my all-time favorite cards right here, Unnatural Growth. The other one I got was in this artwork too, so it's an enchantment for 1 and 4 forest. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. And that's every combat, man, including your opponents. Yeah, this card's badass, dude. It's one of my favorites. Nice, dude. Oh, I am super happy with this box, dude. Restless Fortress. This looks cool. It's a land, and it enters the battlefield tapped. Add a plains or a swamp. 2 a plains and a swamp. Restless Fortress becomes a 1/4 white and black nightmare creature until end of turn. It's still a land. Whenever it attacks, defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Whoa, damn, dude. This thing's fucking cool. Even if you want to just use it for the plain swamp right there, I mean, it's a damn cool looking fucking land, dude. That was cute. Sleep Cursed Fairy. It's a 3/3 fairy wizard for an island, so you could go in my wizard deck. It's got flying and ward 2. Sleep Cursed Fairy enters the battlefield tapped with 3 stun counters on it. Oh, you're a piece of shit. 1 and an island. Untap Sleep Cursed Fairy. Okay, because you're a 3/3. Okay, I got you now. So it has 3 stun counters on it, but it's a freaking 3/3-er. Okay. Huh. I might actually be putting this in my wizard deck. I'll have to take a look, man. That's kind of a neat one. Spellbook Vendor. It's a 2/2 human peasant for 1 in a plains. It's got vigilance, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 1. When you do, create a sorcerer role token attached to target creature you control. And the role token is enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature attacks, scry 1. Intangible Virtue. This thing's cool looking. It's an enchantment for 1 in a plains. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. Ooh. And it's all cool looking, dude. That's a cool one. Gulruk's Uprising. This is a reprint. It's an enchantment for 2 in a forest, and when it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample, and whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. We got an island. Chancellor of Tales. It's a 2/3 fairy advisor for 3 in an island. It's got flying, and whenever you cast an adventure spell, you may copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. That's pretty cool. Cursed Courtier. It's a 3/3 human noble for 2 in a plains. It's got lifelink, and when it enters the battlefield, create a cursed roll token attached to it. Enchanted creature is a 1/1, so this is only a 1/1 motherfucker. That's great. You're worthless. Up the Beanstalk. It's an enchantment for 1 in a forest, and when Up the Beanstalk enters the battlefield, and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, draw a card. When it enters, and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater. You're kind of a nifty one. I might have to actually, I might be able to actually do something with that. Storm-Killed Prowler. It's a 2/1 human rogue for 1 in an island. And whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, put 2 1/1 counters on Storm-Killed Prowler. So this is like the Beanstalk thing, other than it's putting 1/1 counters on it instead of drawing cards, huh? I like the artwork. That's an alright card. Baronati. It's a 1/3 fairy for 1 in a swamp. It's got flying, and it has lifelink as long as you control another fairy. And for 2 in a swamp, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Cooped Up. Oh, that's sad. They're in a little cage. That's sad. It's an enchantment aura for 1 in a plains. Enchant creature, and it can't attack or block. And for 2 in a plains, exile enchanted creature. Sleight of Hand. This is a common reprint here. It's a sorcery for an island. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. So far, I am super impressed with this box, dude. We got us a good one. Got a freaking ley line out of the damn thing. We got a food token and a nightmare. Beginning a combat of your turn, if a card was put into exile this turn, put a 1/1 counter on this card. On this creature. Oh, damn. This thing looks cool as shit, dude. That's one of the coolest tokens I've ever seen, dude. That's a fucking tight one, dude. What we got here? Cruel Somnifage. It's a star nightmare for 1 in a swamp. It's got a sorcery adventure, can't wake up, for 1 in an island. Target player mills 4 cards. And then the actual creature's got its power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Oh, you're cool. Well, that's tight. I like that one. Phyrexian Unlife. It's an enchantment for 2 in a plains. You don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. As long as you have 0 or less life, all damage is dealt to you as though its source had infect. This is a damn cool one, dude. Bramble Familiar. It's a creature, but it's got a sorcery adventure called Fetch Quest. For 5 and 2 forest. Damn, dude. 5 and 2 forest? Mill 7 cards. Then put a creature, enchantment, or land card from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. That sucks, dude. Fuck that. The actual creature is a 2/2 elemental raccoon for 1 in a forest. And it can add a forest to your mana pool, or for 1 in a forest and tapping it, discard a card, return Bramble Familiar to its owner's hand. Oh. Yeah, forget this thing, dude. Just use it as a mana producer, man. Fuck that shit. Loam Crafter Fawn. It's a 3/3 satyr druid for 2 in a forest. And when it enters the battlefield, you may discard 1 or more land cards. When you do, return up to that many target non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Feral Encounter. It's a sorcery for 2 forest. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may exile a creature card from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card this turn. At the beginning of the next combat phase this turn, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power up to one target creature you don't control. Okay. This so far is probably our least good booster, and it's still a pretty good one. Grasp of Fate. It's an enchantment for 1 and 2 planes. And when it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to one target non-land permanent that player controls until this leaves the battlefield. Compulsion. It's an enchantment for 1 in an island. 1 in an island, discard a card to draw a card. 1 in an island, sacrifice it, draw a card. That artwork is cool. And we got us a plains. Discerning Financer. It's a 2/3 human noble for 2 in a plains. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you, create a treasure token. So this is kind of like land tax, other than you're making treasure tokens instead of getting lands out of your deck. For 2 in a plains, choose another player. That player gains control of target treasure you control. Draw a card. Huh. You're kind of neat, dude. You're kind of versatile. You can use them to ramp, or you can use them to draw, huh? And it doesn't have to be done as a sorcery. This one's kind of neat. It's kind of versatile, dude. I like these little versatile ones, man. Spellscorn Coven. It's a 2/3 fairy warlock for 3 in a swamp, but it's got an instant adventure called Take It Back for 2 in an island. Return target spell to its owner's hand. Okay, and then the actual creature has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Eh. Gingerbread Hunter, what? He's got an instant adventure called Puny Snack for 2 in a swamp. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And then Gingerbread Hunter is a 5/5 giant for 4 in a forest. And when it enters the battlefield, create a food token. You suck. I'm not impressed with you. We got a Crystal Garato here. That's all freaking shiny. And when it enters the battlefield, you scry 1. You can add a colorless mana, or for 1 and tapping it, you can add 1 mana of any color. Torch the Tower, man. It's an instant for a mountain. Bargain. And bargain is you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast it. Torch the Tower deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If this spell was bargained, instead it deals 3 damage to that permanent, and you scry 1. If a permanent dealt damage by Torch the Tower would die this turn, exile it instead. Brave the Wilds. It's a sorcery for a forest. It's got bargain, and if this spell was bargained, target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste. That's still a land. Search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Rhymefur Reindeer. It's a 3/4 elk for 3 in a plains. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature and opponent controls. So far, this box has been pretty bitchin', dude. That last one was pretty mad, but closer to good than mid, I'd say. But although that Nightmare token was fucking badass. We got a food token and a birdie token. We got another spellbook vendor here. Sneak Attack. What the hell's going on with this artwork, dude? This is all funky looking. It's an enchantment for 3 in a mountain. And for a mountain, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste. Sacrifice the creature at the beginning of the next end step. Whoa, this thing's all funky, dude. You could just put any fucking creature from your hand onto the field? What the fuck? This thing's way fucking hardcore, dude. For 1 mountain, you could just slap whatever the fuck you want on the field, dude? Holy shit. This thing's tight as hell, dude. This is way fucking badass card. Just slap whatever the fuck I want on there, man. Virtue of Knowledge. It's an enchantment for 4 and an island, but it's got an instant adventure. Vantress Visions for 1 in an island. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. And then the actual card is, if a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggering ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Damn, dude. This thing's tight. Damn, dude. I'm getting all kinds of good shit, dude. Isn't this the one that pissed my brother off? I think this is the commander. Yeah. We got Alelia, Cunning Conqueror. It's a 2/4 Commander Fairy Warlock for 2, an island and a swamp. It's got flying, and whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, create a 1/1 Black Fairy Rogue creature token with flying. And whenever one or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, go target creature that player controls. That artwork is tight as shit, dude. Hylidia of the Icy Crown. It's a 3/4 Commander Human Warlock for 2, a plains and an island. Whenever you tap an untapped creature an opponent controls, you may pay 1. When you do, choose 1. Create a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature token. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Scry 2, then draw a card. Damn, dude. Oh, you're fucking cool, lady. I might make you a commander, man. So many decks I want to make, man. Curiosity. It's an enchantment aura for an island, enchant creature, and whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Ground Seal. It's an enchantment for 1 in a forest, and when it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and cards in graveyards can't be the targets of spellers or abilities. We got a super cool forest here, dude. That is fucking tight. That's hella cool. I like that. Frolicking Familiar. And it's got an instant adventure, blow off steam for a mountain. And blow off steam deals 1 damage to any target. And then the actual Frolicking Familiar is a 2/2 otter wizard for 2 and an island. It's got flying, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Frolicking Familiar gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Tough Cookie! Oh, I love this card, dude. This thing fucking won me like all the games that I won in pre-release. This thing won them all for me, dude. It's a 2/2 artifact food golem for 1 and a forest. And when it enters the battlefield, create a food token. For 2 and a forest, target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 4/4 artifact creature until end of turn. 2, tap it, sack it. You gain 3 life. This card was bitching as shit. I kept making food tokens and then turning them into 4/4 dudes, man. We got Corvald and the Noble Thief. It's a saga for 3 and a mountain. Create a treasure token for both the first and second phase. And then the third one is exile the top 3 cards of target opponent's library. You may play those cards this turn. Troublemaker, whatever that is, Ophi. It's a 2/3 Ophi or whatever the fuck that is for 1 and a forest. It's got bargain. And when it enters the battlefield, if it was bargained, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Besotted Knight. It's a 3/3 human knight for 3 in a plains. It's got a sorcery adventure, Betrothed the Beast. Oh, Betrothed the Beast. There we go. For 1 plains. Create a Royal Road token attached to target creature you control. Snare Master Sprite. It's a 1/1 fairy wizard for 1 island. And when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. When you do, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Ooh. Hollow Scavenger. You look cool. I like the dark artwork looking of that, dude. It's got a sorcery adventure bakery raid for a forest. Create a food token. Then the actual creature is a 3/2 wolf with, for 2 in a forest. It's got 1 sacrifice of food, and it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. Oh, that's sad. You can only do it once every turn. That's just sad. And after this one, we're halfway done, man. Listen, guy, you need to open. Stop giving me problems. Listen, work with me here, man. There we go. Aha, there's a little thing on the side. Listen, you. Giving me problems, man. Yeah, we got food and a rat. Goblin Bombardment. Oh, this is a reprint. It's a good one, though. It's an enchantment for 1 in a mountain and sacrifice a creature, and this deals 1 damage to any target. Waste Not. It's an enchantment for 1 in a swamp. Whenever an opponent discards a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, add 2 swamps to your mana pool. Whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, draw a card. Holy shit, you're cool. Oh, this is a reprint. Restless Spire. This looks fucking tight. Look at this shit, dude. It's a land that enters tapped. It produces an island or a mountain. And for an island and a mountain, until end of turn, it's a 2/1 blue and red elemental creature with, as long as it's your turn, this creature has first strike. It's still a land. And whenever it attacks, you scry 1. This land's cool looking as hell too, dude. I like the other one better. Unfinished Business. It's a sorcery for 3 and 2 planes. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then return up to 2 target aura and or equipment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to that creature. Lord Skitter's Blessing. Didn't we see this one already? Apparently not. It's an enchantment for 1 in a swamp. And when it enters the battlefield, create a Wicked Roll token attached to target creature you control. At the beginning of your draw step, if you control an enchanted creature, you lose 1 life and you draw an additional card. Interesting. Griffin Airy. It's an enchantment for 1 in a plains. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying. Okay, you're right. Knightly Valor. That's cool artwork there, dude. It's an enchantment aura for 4 in the plains. Enchant creature, and when it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. And enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance. We got a cool looking swamp here. Archive Dragon. Damn, dude, it's a 4/6 dragon wizard for 4 and 2 islands. Flying Ward 2. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Succumb to the Cold. That's sad. It's an instant for 2 and an island. Tap 1 or 2 target creatures an opponent controls. Put a stun counter on each of them. Imodane's Recruiter. It's got a sorcery adventure, train troops for 4 in the plains, which creates 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance. And then the actual creature is a 2/2 human knight for 2 in a mountain. And when it enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. Cut In. It's a sorcery for 3 in a mountain. And it deals 4 damage to target creature. Create a Young Hero Roll token attached to up to 1 target creature you control. Aberai's Attendants. It's got an instant adventure called Desperate Party for 1 in an island. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. And then the actual creature is a 3/4 fairy wizard for 4 in an island, and it's got flying. Root Rider Fawn. It's a 1/3 satyr scout for 1 and a forest. And you can add a forest to your mana pool, or for 1 in tapping it, add 1 mana of any color. Ratcatcher Trainee. It's got an instant adventure called Pest Problem for 2 in a mountain. Create 2 1/1 black rat creature tokens with this creature can't block. And then the actual creature is a 2/1 human peasant for 1 in a mountain. As long as it's your turn, Ratcatcher Trainee has first strike. Okay, and we're halfway through our box right now. There we go. There you go. We got a food token and a treasure token. Greater Aromancy. It's an enchantment for 1 in a plains. And other enchantments you control have Shroud. Enchanted creatures you control have Shroud. You only cost 1 in a plains. You're pretty freaking tight for 1 in a plains, dude. It's all shiny and everything. Copy Enchantment. I wonder what this is going to do. It's an enchantment for 2 in an island. You may have Copy Enchantment enter the battlefield as a copy of any enchantment on the battlefield. That's fucking tight, dude. That's hella cool. Scalding Viper. It's a 2/1 elemental snake for 1 in a mountain. But it's got a sorcery adventure, Steam Clean for 1 in an island. And that returns target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And then the actual creature has, whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, Scalding Viper deals 1 damage to that player. That's pretty cool. Court of Ventress. It's an enchantment for 2 and 2 islands. And when it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose up to one other target enchantment or artifact. If you're the monarch, you may create a token that's a copy of it. If you're not the monarch, you may have Court of the Vantress become a copy of it, except it has this ability. Damn, dude, this thing's fucking tight. Enchantment or artifact. Hell yeah, dude. The Apprentice's Folly. It's a saga for 2, an island and a mountain. And phase 1 and 2 is choose target non-token creature you control that doesn't have the same name as a token you control. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary, is a reflection in addition to its other types, and has haste. And then sacrifice all reflections you control in phase 3. Okay. Impact Tremors for 1 in a mountain. This is a good one, man. It's an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent. Another Dragon Mantle here. An island. Twisted Fealty. It's a sorcery for 2 in a mountain. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. And create a wicked token attached to up to 1 target creature. You're cool looking. Neva, Stalked by Nightmares. Oh, that sounds fucked up. It's a 2/2 Commander Human Noble for 2 plains in a swamp. It's got Menace. And whenever it enters the battlefield, return target creature or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Neva. Then scry 1. Huh. 2 plains in a swamp. You're not bad for 2 plains in a swamp. Boundary Lands Ranger. It's a 2/2 human ranger for 1 in a mountain. It's a ranger, but it's a mountain. Okay, you'd figure it'd be a forest type creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Misleading Moats. It's an instant for 3 in an island, and target creature's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Ireti's Whisper. It's a sorcery for 3 in a swamp. It's got target opponent discards 2 cards. Create a Wiccan roll token attached to up to 1 target creature you control. Killian's Lightblades. It's a instant for 1 in a plains. It's got Bargain, and it deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. If it was bargained, destroy that creature instead. Candy Trail. It's a food clue for 1. And when it enters the battlefield, you scry 2, tap it, and sack it. Candy Trail gains 3. You gain 3 life and draw a card. That was probably our weakest pack right there. We started off damn hot, and we're slowly cooling down, man. That pack wasn't quite so impressive. We got a food and a birdie. We got a Restless Vinestalk. You're cool looking. It's a land that enters the battlefield tapped. It can produce a forest or an island. And for 3 a forest and island until end of turn, it's a 5/5 green and blue creature token with trample. It's still land. And whenever it attacks, up to 1 other target creature has base power and toughness 3/3 till end of turn. Damn, you're fucking cool. It's all shiny. That was a good one. We've seen it as Foretold, haven't we? No, we haven't. I don't think we have. It's an enchantment for 2 in an island, and at the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on As Foretold. Once each turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast with mana value X or less, where X is the number of time counters on As Foretold. It's a damn good one. Pay 0 for anything you want. Questing Druid. It's a 1/1 human druid for 1 in a forest, but it's got a instant adventure. Seek the Beast for 1 in a mountain. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until your next end step. You may play those cards. The actual creature has, whenever you cast a spell that's white, blue, black, or red, put a 1/1 counter on Questing Druid. Okay. Redcap Gutter Dweller. It's a 3/3 Goblin Warrior for 2 and 2 mountains. It's got Menace, and whenever it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 black rat creature tokens with this creature can block. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on Redcap Gutter Driller, and exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. A Tale for the Ages Man. Okay. It's an enchantment for 1 in the plains, and enchanted creatures you control get +2/+2. Ooh. Season of Growth. It's an enchantment for 1 in a forest, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. Nice. That's a cool one. We got another Intangible Virtue. Nice. We got a cool looking plains here. Ash, Party Crasher. It's a 2/2 Commander Human Peasant for a mountain and a plains. It's got haste and celebration. Whenever Ash, Party Crasher attacks, if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, put a 1/1 counter on Ash. Dutiful Griffin. It's a 4/4 Griffin for 3 and 2 plains. It's got flying. 2 plains, sacrifice 2 enchantments. Return it from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, screw that, dude. You got to sack 2 freaking enchantments on top of the 2 in the plains. The hell with you, guy. Stone Splitter Bolt. It's an instant for X in a mountain. Bargain. And it deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If this spell was bargained, it deals twice X damage to that permanent instead. Hopeful Vigil. It's an enchantment for 1 in a plains, and when it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. And when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, scry 2 for 2 in a plains. You can sack it. Gnawing Crescendo. It's an instant for 2 in a mountain. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies this turn, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. That was a neat one. Grabby Giant. It's got an instant adventure. That's mine for 1 in a mountain. Create a treasure token. And it's a 4/3 giant for 3 in a mountain with reach and 2 in a forest. Sacrifice an artifact or land. Draw a card. Living Lectern. It's a 0/4 artifact construct for 1 in an island. And 1, sacrifice it, draw a card. Create a sorcerer role token attached up to 1 other target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, we're kind of cooling off now, man. We had a hell of a bitchin' start, though, so we can't really complain too much. You can't really keep that type of momentum up, man. We got us a food token and a mouse. A 1/1 mouse token, man. Song of Totetans. It's a sorcery for X and a mountain. Create X 1/1 black rat creature tokens with this creature can't block. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Oh, damn, that's cool. Oh, you're fucking tight, dude. That's a badass one. Dawn of Hope. It's an enchantment for 1 in a plains. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. And for 3 in a plains, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. That's a damn good one there, too. Elusive Otter. You're cool looking. It's got a sorcery adventure, Grove's Bounty, for X in a forest. Distribute X 1/1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Nice. And it's a 1/1 otter for an island, prowess, and creatures with power less than elusive otter's power can't block it. You're kind of a cool one. I like the adventure more than the actual creature. The art's cool, though. Another Lord Skitter's Blessing. Another elusive otter. We got 2 of these guys in 1 pack. Raid Bombardment. It's an enchantment for 2 in a mountain. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less attacks, Raid Bombardment deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. Ooh, damn. You combo good with that fucking rat card we just got, dude. That's a hell of a 1-2 combo with that other one we got. That's bitchin'. Utopia Sprawl. It's a reprint. It's an enchantment aura for a forest. Enchant Forest is, as it enters the battlefield, choose a color, and whenever Enchanted Forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of the chosen color. We've got a mountain here. We've got Picnic Ruiner. It's a 2/2 Goblin Rogue for 1 in a mountain that's got whenever Picnic Ruiner attacks, while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it gains double strike until end of turn. And it's got a sorcery adventure, Stolen Goodies, for 3 in a forest. Distribute 3 1/1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Ebereth Veteran. It's a 2/1 human knight for a mountain. And for 1 and sacking it, create a young hero role token attached to another target creature you control. Another target creature, not that you control. Edgewell Inn. You're cool looking. It's a fucking inn on top of a damn tree, dude. It's a land, and it enters the battlefield tapped. And when it enters, you choose a color. Add 1 mana of the chosen color, or for 3 and tapping it, return target creature that has an adventure card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, damn, you're cool. That's a cool land. Unassuming Sage. It's a 2/2 human peasant wizard for 1 and a plains. And when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, create a sorcery roll token attached to it. Hamlet Glutton. It's a 6/6 giant for 5 and 2 forests with bargain. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it's bargained. It's got trample, and when it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. Harried Spearguard. It's a 1/1 human soldier for a mountain. It's got haste, and when it dies, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. We got an Elf Advisor here, dude. We got Red Tooth Genealogist. It's a 2/3 Elf Advisor for 2 and a forest. And when it enters the battlefield, create a Royal Road token attached to another target creature you control. And we're down to our final 3 here. The last pack was pulling meh, but those 1/2 cards fucking comboed off each other. Perfect, dude. The Create X 1/1 rat tokens and the, what was it, the Bombardment card. Got a food token and a treasure token. We got the crown. Hilda's Crown of Winter. This thing's fucking tight. It's a legendary artifact for 3. It's got 1 and tap it. Tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate during your turn. And 3, sacrifice it. Draw a card for each tapped creature your opponent's control. And you can do that anytime, dude. Yeah, this thing's tight as hell, man. Oh, we got another ley line, dude. We got a ley line of lightning. It's an enchantment for 2 and 2 mountains. And if it's in your opening hand, you may begin with the game with it on the battlefield. And whenever you cast a spell, you may pay 1. If you do, ley line of lightning deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Bitchin', dude. We got 2 different fucking ley lines in this box. Baluna Grand Squall. It's got an instant adventure, seek thrills for 2, a forest, an island, and a mountain, dude. Mill 7 cards, then put all cards that have an adventure from among the milled cards into your hand. And the actual creature is a 4/4 Commander Giant Noble for a forest, an island, and a mountain. It's got trample, and permanent spells you cast that have an adventure cost 1 less to cast. Songbird's Blessing. It's an enchantment aura for 3 and a plains. It's got enchant creature. And whenever enchanted creature attacks, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an aura card. You may put that card onto the battlefield. If you don't put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Virtue of Persistence. You look cool. It's got a sorcery adventure called Lochtwain Scorn for 1 in a swamp. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. The actual card is an enchantment for 5 and 2 swamps. You better be damn good for 7, dude. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Oh, damn! From any graveyard? Holy shit. Well, I said it had to be badass, and, well, it is, so that's nice. Oh, damn, dude. Dark Tutelage. It's all shiny, man. It's an enchantment for 2 in a swamp. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library, and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. Another raid bombardment here. We got another swamp. Tattered Ratter. It's a 2/2 human peasant for 1 in a mountain. And whenever a rat you control becomes blocked, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Huh, okay. You combo good off those red cards too. Holy shit. That'd be like one hell of a 3-card combo there, man. Those 3. Twisted Sewer Witch. It's a human warlock for 3/4 human warlock for 3 and 2 swamps. And when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. Then for each rat you control, create a Wicked Roll token attached to that rat. That's fucking tight. Fairy Dream Thief. It's a 1/1 flying fairy warlock for a swamp that's got, when it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. And for 2 in a swamp, exile Fairy Dream Thief from your graveyard. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. Witch's Mark. It's a sorcery for 1 in a mountain. You may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards and create a Wicked Roll token attached to up to 1 target creature you control. I'm running out of breath here, man. We got Edgewall Pack. It's a 3/3 dog for 3 in a mountain. It's got Menace, and when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 black rat creature token that can't block. Vantress Transmuter. It's got a sorcery adventure, Croaking Curse for 1 in an island. Tap target creature, create a cursed roll token attached to it. And then it's a 3/4 human wizard for 3 in an island. And we got Grand Ball Guest. It's a 2/2 human peasant for 1 in a mountain. It's got Celebration. It gets +1/+1 and adds trample as long as 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn. And we're down to our last 2 packs. We start off hella good. We slowly cooled off to just, you know, good. And I'm hoping that at least one of these last 2 packs will be a damn good one. I mean, I don't think we've gotten a truly shitty pack yet, so that's good. We got 2 fucking lane lines out of this thing, so I can't complain too much. We got a human and a food token. Sanguine Bond. Oh, shit, dude. See, this is a damn good one. It's an enchantment for 3 and 2 swamps, and whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Bitchin'. Aggravated Assault. It's an enchantment for 2 and a mountain. The artwork is tight as hell, dude. 3 and 2 mountains. Untap all creatures you control. What? 3 and 2 mountains. Untap all creatures you control. After this main phase, there is an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Activate only as a sorcery. Dude, but it doesn't say you can only activate it once a turn, dude. Holy shit. Untap all creatures. Damn, dude, this thing is fucking hardcore, dude. Well, I wanted to end with a bang, and just these first 2 cards were fucking tight, dude. What the hell? Restless Charge. It's like some sort of fucking gingerbread house, dude. It enters the battlefield tapped. It adds either a swamp or a forest. And for 2, a swamp and a forest, it becomes a 4/4 black and green horror creature until end of turn. It's still a land, and whenever it attacks, create a food token and exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Oh, this thing's tight as hell, dude. Oh, this pack was fucking sweet, dude. We got another Fawn's Bane Troll. Restless Bivouac. It enters tapped. You can add a mountain or a plains, and for 1 of mountain and a plains, it becomes a 2/2 red and white ox creature token, ox creature until end of turn. It's still a land. And whenever it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Hatching Plans. It's an enchantment for 1 in an island, and when it is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Cool artwork, man. Pretty cool card, too. Season of Growth. A bitchin' forest here. Abira Dreaming Duelist. It's a 2/2 fairy warrior commander for island and a swamp. It's got flash flying, and whenever another fairy enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Damn, you're fucking tight. The Princess Takes Flight. It's an enchantment saga for 2 and a plains. Phase 1, exile up to 1 target creature. Phase 2, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. And Phase 3 is return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. The Witch's Vanity, another enchantment saga. The artwork on this one's tight as shit. For 1 in a swamp. Phase 1, destroy target creature an opponent controls with mana value 2 or less. Phase 2, create a food token. Phase 3, create a Wicked Roll token attached to a to target creature you control. Savior of the Sleeping. It's a 2/3 human knife for 2 in the plains. It's got vigilance, and whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on it. Frantic Firebolt. It's an instant for 2 in a mountain, and it deals X damage to target creature, where X is 2 plus the number of cards in your graveyard that are instant cards, sorcery cards, and or have an adventure. Damn, dude. Break the Spell. It's an instant for a plains. Destroy target enchantment. If a permanent you controlled or a token was destroyed this way, draw a card. Bespoke Battle Garb. It's an artifact equipment for 1 in a mountain. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. 0. Celebration. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if 2 or more permanent non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, attach Bespoke Battle Garb to up to 1 target creature you control. Equip for 2. That pack was fucking tight. So we're down to our final pack here. Well, this box was fucking hardcore, dude. I got 2 different fucking ley lines out of the damn thing. We got a food token and a fairy. 1/1 fairy that can block only creatures with flying token. I still think that Nightmare is one of the coolest fucking tokens I've ever seen, dude. That thing was tight as hell. We got a Descendant Dragon that's got an instant adventure, Expensive Taste for 2 in a swamp. Exile the top 2 cards of target opponent's library face down. You may look and play those cards for as long as they remain exiled. Not even till end of turn. Damn, dude. And the actual dragon is a 4/4 dragon for 2 and 2 mountains. It's got flying and trample, and when it attacks, create a treasure token. Oh, dude, you're tight as shit. I like you. This dragon was awesome, man. We got a 3rd ley line in the fucking thing, dude. Leyline of Abundance. It's an enchantment for 2 and 2 forest. If it's in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Whenever you tap a creature for mana, add an additional forest. And 6 and 2 forest. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. This thing is tight as shit, dude. God damn, dude, I got 3 different ley lines out of this fucking box, dude. We got Mosswood Dread Knight. It's a 3/2 human knight for 1 in a forest that's got trample, and when it dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. And it's got a sorcery adventure, Dread Whispers, for 1 in a swamp. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. Nice. So you can use that one twice. You can use it, cast it as the creature, and then when it dies, you can use it again. Holy shit. Throne of Eldraine? What? It's a legendary artifact for 5. When it enters the battlefield, choose a color. Tap it. Add 4 mana of the chosen color. Spend this mana only to cast monocolored spells of that color. 3. Tap it. Draw 2 cards. Spend only mana of the chosen color to activate this ability. Holy shit, this thing's a bad fucker, dude. Draw 2 cards. Holy shit. Nice, dude. This thing's fucking tight. This last pack was bitchin', dude. Another red-capped gutter dweller. Vampiric Rites. It's an enchantment for a swamp. One a swamp and sack a creature. You gain 1 life and draw a card. Fuck yeah, dude. Another Impact Tremors. Another Plains. Johan. Apprentice Sorcerer. It's a 2/5 commander human wizard for 2 an island and a mountain. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from the top of your library. Hell yeah, dude. You're fucking cool. Damn, dude, this last pack's tight as shit. Greta, Sweet Tooth Scourge. It's a 3/3 commander human warrior for 1, a swamp, and a forest. And when it enters the battlefield, create a food token for a forest and sacrificing a food. You can put a 1/1 counter on target creature. And for 1 in a swamp and sacking a food, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Monstrous Rage. It's an instant for a mountain. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Create a monster roll token attached to it. Ice Out. It's an instant for 1 in 2 islands. It's got Bargain. This spell costs 1 less to cast if it is bargained, and it counters target spell. Sky Beast Tracker. It's a 2/4 Giant Archer for 3 and a Forest. It's got Reach. And whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, create a food token. Merfolk Coralsmith. It's a 2/3 Merfolk for 2 and an island. And for 1, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And when it dies, scry 2. And our very last card is Baluna's Gatekeeper. It's a 6/5 Giant Soldier for 5 and an island. Damn, it's a big fucker. And it's got a Sorcery Adventure, entry denied for 1 and an island. Return target creature you don't control with mana value 3 or less to its owner's hand. And that's it. That's all of them, man. So that's our Wilds of Eldraine Collector Booster. It was bad fucking ass, dude. I got 3 ley lines in this thing, dude. There's only 12 packs, and I got 3 freaking ley lines out of it. So yeah, that collector box was fucking tight, dude. I am very happy with this one. We got some good shit out of there. So I'm very happy. I hope you're happy and that you enjoyed this. So hopefully you did. And thanks for tuning in. And I guess I'll see you next time.